Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Telling Tales. Here we tell atmospheric stories together through the medium of tabletop role playing games. It is Monday evening, and we are playing Masks of Nyarlathotep with 7th edition Call of Cthulhu. I'll do a recap in a moment. But first of all, below the stream are links to our social media, our other streaming and video platforms, as well as our Patreon, where if you enjoy what we do on the channel, you can support us, and our Discord, which you can join us on and chat to us and other people who are involved and who enjoy the channel and the things that we do. The 5-year anniversary video has recently gone live on YouTube, which has lots of recaps, chats, and choice clips from the potentially billions of hours of streaming that we've done in the 5 years that we've been going. So go check that out. And at some point, I'll put the link in the chat. I should have prepared that, but I didn't. So anyway, a recap. The group are currently in England, having been to Peru and meeting Jackson Elias, becoming friends with him, stopping some bad things that were happening there, and then receiving an invite from Jackson Elias to New York, going to New York, finding Jackson Elias recently brutally murdered, putting a stop to the cult activity that was going on there, collecting a bunch of information, which they are now following in reverse order, Jackson's tracks for how he was investigating the missing Carlisle expedition. Of note, while in New York, the group stopped an innocent man from receiving the death penalty, and took out a few cultists in the process, and as part of that, managed to hopefully slightly clean up the New York Police Department. But yes, now they're in England, and they have stumbled upon probably another cult. And last week they spoke to somebody that they had been told was heavily involved in the cult. She spun a different story, and the group were kind of deciding how to proceed. So first, I think I will bring on Sam, who plays Mrs. Farwell. Hey,
Hello.
Sam. So, Zara Shafiq, how does Mrs. Farwell feel about this situation, the information that she has given you, etc.?
Yeah, you know what? Since I feel like you did kind of a right from the beginning intro a little bit there with everything, why don't I just introduce Mrs. Farwell a little bit as well for players who haven't heard. So she's kind of a young to middle-aged, quite well-dressed, wealthier looking woman. She's kind of dresses quite dark, like posh looking clothes most of the time, but practical as well at the same time. She's moderately attractive, kind of not quite plain, not quite attractive, sort of in the middle. She's well known for being interested in kind of mystical things and the unusual in the world. In her sort of her career, she's and whether to describe it as a career or not, she was before this very interested in kind of illusory arts as well, and kind of doing like card readings for very wealthy individuals and such like that. So that's kind of very interesting. This, although safe stage, while she knows a lot of that is based on trickery, she also does believe that there are like higher powers in the world which we don't truly grasp, which inevitably is probably a terrible thing to believe in a game like this. Um, yeah, as to right now, I think I know not all of the characters are in the same boat, but Mrs. Farwell feels reassured, at least about Miss Shafiq. It was a bit of an unusual situation following her around, and it's safe to say, we were not quite sure where we were going, what we were doing, communicated with her, and then when she sent us a message and invited us to meet with her, well, we took the gamble, and I think it went quite well. We're not dead, which is good, and I believe we were right to trust her, and she genuinely is on our side in some sense, even if she's perhaps more keen on avoiding direct confrontation with the actual cult than anyone else. But remains to be seen if Mrs. Farwell is proven right or not, I suppose, at this stage.
Cool, thanks, Sam. Let's bring on Steve, who plays Edwin Price. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Jonny.
So Edwin was not with the group that went to speak to Zara Shafiq. He was one of two that stayed outside the shop to just be there in case anything went wrong. So yeah, how's Edwin feeling about the whole thing?
Edwin is pretty disconcerted that following this meeting that Zara Shafiq seems to have been given a clean bill of health by the people that talked to her. On the basis of from what Edwin can see, no evidence whatsoever. So concerned really is probably the main emotion currently. Yes, and spending a lot of time, as I am doing, going back through my notes to try and find things that conflict. The conversations provided new bits of information which might or might not be true. So Edwin is now sort of feverishly trying to reconcile these new bits of information and try to string them into some sort of framework that makes some sort of sense.
Cool, thanks, Steve. Let's bring on Jack, who plays Ted Hobbs. Hey, Jack.
Hello.
Ted.
Ted?
What's Ted think about all this?
I think it's nice, to get a bit of a lead. I think it's starting to run. We were starting to run out of leads. So, seeing as he seems to trust her implicitly, as opposed to Edwin. No, he doesn't trust her implicitly. I think there's still some skepticism, but she's given us some information, and he wants to see where it takes us. She's probably, I don't think it's so naive to think that she's given us everything that she knows. But she's given us something, even if it's, a rival in the cult, I think is what he suggested it might have been, and she's trying to use us to get rid of them, or has been suggested. So yeah, eager to get on with the next steps.
And also, she hasn't pressed charges in spite of being pretty sure that you were in her.
I'd like to see her prove it. CCTVs have not been invented. DNA is just 3 letters in the alphabet.
Non-sequential.
They're not even sequence.
Yeah. that works in more ways.
That'll mean nothing to people watching now, but tough.
Well, they should have been listening to our conversation before we started streaming.
We should Patreon the pre-stream chats. That's what we should do. Hear all about the splinter in my finger. Let's bring on John, who plays Merritt Barton. Hey, John.
Hi, Jonny.
What does Merritt think about Zara Shafiq?
Merritt is not entirely sure what to think. Definitely, he is very willing to believe that Shafiq either has not been completely honest, but I think he's mostly leaning towards currently feeling like she may benefit from being more honest. I and Merritt think that Shafiq's going to get something out of us taking down the Brotherhood, so that she will be willing to help us up to that point. As Edwin has pointed out, that may just leave a power vacuum for something much worse, but we'll burn that cult down when we get to it. Either way, she's given us some things that look to be leads or pointed us in directions we had previously been ignoring, which even if it's nothing else, it's a reminder that there are other things to look at rather than breaking into this maybe poor woman's house repeatedly.
Cool, thanks. Justin will be joining us shortly, but isn't he yet? So let's get, it was about dinner time on the 13th of February, day before Valentine's Day. So I think you were you'd had a discussion, hadn't yet come up with a plan per se, I think.
How many days was it until the new moon?
10.
Yeah, it's the 23rd.
Okay, so we have 10 days. Yeah. In which
There are
I think
smaller events that they hold between the major ones. I believe the major ones are at the new moon, and they hold other ones every couple of weeks or something like that.
Yeah, you got the impression that they were sort of ad hoc. Potentially when they found somebody that they needed to off, and they would just use that as an excuse for a party.
You know what it's like, yeah.
There is, of course, also this Henson manufacturing in Derbyshire, potentially linked to that strange creature that was found up there, which we could also go investigate. I think we already discussed that, haven't we? So, given we have 10 days, that's plenty of time to travel up, have a day or two up there, and come back.
Holiday
Or we could,
episode.
split the party. Some people go look at this house, some people go up there. Always a great idea.
I can only read one thing at a time, Sam.
Maybe we split like 4 ways.
Why? There's 5 of us. We'll send one person on ahead to Hong Kong. Someone else can go to Sydney to talk to what's his name.
Wilfred's been desperate to get to Egypt.
Yeah, you just go by yourself. Should be fine. He'll be right. Just go take care of it.
Well, if we can roll new characters quickly enough, we've got basically infinite lives. We can just save scum this. Just be constantly jotting down the things that we're finding
and putting them in safe lockers.
Yeah,
for continuity reasons. Anyway, I think Winifred might have considered, given we already had this conversation, I suppose we could out of character, but I think Winifred might have voiced a bit of an opinion favoring investigating what's going on in Derbyshire, given we know that Jackson Elias was interested in that, and now we have another reason to go visit it, and we have a bit of time when we're not in an urgent rush. There seems to be good cause to go and check that out.
Are we absolutely certain they're in the same place?
Well, it wasn't Jackson Elias that was interested in it, was it? It was the guy from the Scoop.
I thought he said Jackson was interested in those things.
Oh, that might be
I think he'd found. Jackson was interested in those stories.
Jackson, 3 articles that Jackson Elias had highlighted from the Scoop as part of his investigations into whatever he was investigating, and Derbyshire was one of them.
And that is a good question. Yeah, how close is where we believe, or do we know where Henson Manufacturing is?
My action from last session was to go to company's house and look them up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that will be open at the moment.
I was going to say you'll be the next day for that.
I am also interested in doing that, so maybe Winifred will join tomorrow to do that first thing. And that will potentially decide our course of action, I suppose.
Does anyone else have any actions for that evening?
Don't think so.
Would probably continue reading, putting more time into reading Life as a God as my sort of general background task. I think if there's yes, I don't, it's unlikely that we're going to be going out and sort of talking to anybody. So
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'd fill my time with.
Cool.
My attempts to get tutoring from the Penhew Foundation has failed. But could I have acquired ancient Egyptian for dummies or 1920s equivalent during my last visit?
From the library?
From the library or from the Penhew Foundation?
Yes.
Can I try and study that to acquire some Egyptian skill?
Another idea that we did discuss, I think maybe perhaps over breakfast or something. I don't know. Winifred will just word this to the group. We did talk about potentially presenting some artifact to the Penny Foundation to draw their interest, to perhaps get us a route of access. As far as I understand, none of us have anything Egyptian, or even well, I suppose we have some African items which might be of interest. I don't know whether we would want to risk those things and whether the Penny Foundation would have any interest in them. Alternatively, would it be valuable to get into the city and see if there's anything that might be purchasable, which, while probably not very valuable or particularly interesting to the Foundation, might at least get us an audience with someone significant?
Just because we sort of book an appointment with them to view an artifact doesn't mean we have to hand it over right away. And it only has to be vaguely plausible that we might believe that it could be Egyptian and we're seeking their expertise on it.
We should probably include some sort of description on what the artifact is to get them interested. And if we don't know what that is ahead of time, it will be quite difficult to be convincing.
So if we don't actually have said artifact that has been described, that would be very difficult as our conversation were to go.
Didn't one of us have something potentially Greek or something? Wasn't that mentioned?
Someone handed me something to translate in the basement of Juju House. It was either you, Mr. Hobbs, or Mr. Farwell.
Was it the one with the runes? The metal band that was warm?
Could it be?
It was the one, I think it had Nyambi Thy Power Mine on it. Or is that something else that I translated?
Do recall the question as to whether you were holding it and saying it aloud.
Yes. No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, scepter.
Yes, that sounds right.
I don't think we took that in the end, though, did we? I say we.
Yeah, I think it was one of those. It would be quite difficult to sneak that out. I think you kind of took whatever you could hide, and
I think the mask was the biggest thing we took, wasn't it? Also, Justin is here.
We can ask the person who took it.
Only in person, not in spirit. We could just buy any Egyptian tap from the flea market and claim that it's like, and claim that we have an artifact. All we need to do is get in the door, and maybe have it be plausible enough for him to take a look at it for more than 10 minutes. And this is, 19 London. We can find Egyptian relics that are pretty genuine in any flea market.
It's 1925. It is absolutely 1925.
This isn't a person 18 scenario.
That's Farwell's.
I mean, whether it's our 1925 is a different question.
Anyway, the point being is, this is London, the heart of plundered relics. If you want to get an Egyptian artifact, here's where you find it. Not in Egypt.
Pop to the corner shop.
Let's just buy something and
We need to
present it, or walk into the museums that have no security and just walk out with something.
Borrow something from the British Museum, couldn't
Yeah,
you?
I heard about this jewelry heist recently.
British Museum heist.
Perfection.
Anyway, my point is, it shouldn't be too difficult. Like the difficulty you'll be getting in the door. The difficulty isn't finding something that could plausibly be an Egyptian relic. That's Wilfred's position.
Well,
how accurate he is, unclear.
My query was, it depends on the person we want to talk to at the Penny Foundation, rather than just Clark or something. For example, we would like to speak to someone of significance, or in an ideal world, Gavigan himself, although that seems very unlikely, I suppose. And so the more significant a relic or interesting an item, perhaps, the more likely they will be to look at it. I am aware that some of the things we took from, I can look around me, the cult in New York might be very unique and significant, but it's not exactly their area of expertise, and also potentially not the sort of thing we want to show them. Equally, something we buy on the street might not be interesting enough, but would certainly get us in the door with someone.
Well, yeah, I think the point is it doesn't have to be interesting. We just need to make it sound interesting.
And I don't think we want to let these people know that we have anything of actual power or potential interest to them at all, because that might make them want to have it.
That sounds like a good plan. Then. Let's not do that. Let's just find something that we can buy that means nothing to us and go to the Penny Foundation with. Well, Wilfred, if I give you a little bit of cash today, would you like to go and search for that?
I have my own cash. Guys. We talked about
Let's
this.
get something nice.
I'm happy to go down and find something. Although I think that somebody who is a good appraiser of art would be well placed to make the decision about what to buy in the local flea market. And I was never good at working. I was never very good at working out what to steal. Just shiny things.
Oh, Wilfred. Does anyone else have a praise except me?
I only have 25%.
What a mechanical question. I would never ask such a mechanical question.
Right, let's go around the room on a scale of 0 to 100. What do people reckon their appraise skill is?
Conversation.
I think you can take one look at the old ratty worn out clothes that Barton is always wearing and safely deduce that he has base appraise skill.
Well, your eye is as good as mine, Mr. Price. So. I am not particularly appraising.
Well, I can't claim to be an
strange
expert.
conversation. What a strange thing to say to somebody.
Well, I was interested in going with Mr. Barton to Company House this morning, regardless. So I could leave you two to it from the sound of it.
So, Mr. Price and I. Good, great,
very well.
I mean, we could definitely turn this into some kind of flog it style. 2 teams separate. Who can come away with the best artifacts? But sure,
God.
this for our American
That would be quite funny.
audience,
The person who has no appraise skill.
it's like
it's a chance to get your ticket appraise.
It is a chance to take a prize, yes.
Cool. I would like to. I'm happy to do that. That's what I would like to go and do is look for relics, and I'm willing to roll my 5 in appraise to make a decision.
Okay, so we're next day now. So Saturday, 14th of February, 1925. So as you make your way through London, you see many a pair of lovers arm in arm, walking around. Many of the women holding roses.
There is literally zero sign of this between Wilfred and Winifred. I feel.
Okay, so it's Wilfred and Edwin going to.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are not carrying roses or other.
Well, you're not.
No.
You can't speak for Wilfred.
No, this is true.
Character
I
choice,
think eventually I'll clock it and be like, oh, should I have?
Oh no!
I love to imagine this is like 4 or 5 hours in.
Yeah.
Wilfred's just like,
Why did my
"Missed
wife say that she wanted to go off with Mr. Barton today? They spent a long time together, don't they?
We'll be visiting a petrol station on the way back to get a.
Yeah.
The ironic thing is, I know I've said this before, but like Joss's character is my significant person, but I just feel like Winifred is just like really terrible at any actual genuine.
I think they've just, like it's they've been together long enough that they don't need to make a fuss about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you find your way to one of these sort of antiques, bric-a-brac kind of small warehouse setups. And as you walk in, a guy who's slightly stooped over says, "Good morning, squires. What are you in the market for today?"
Got any mummy?
"Oh, mum's the word with that one, son." And he kind of elbows you, maybe a little bit too hard in the shoulder. And
We're looking for Egyptinalia. Just Egypt stuff.
They're going to
Sound
get
very
so
Boris Johnson at
fleeced.
that point.
That did feel very Boris Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. I was channeling something. Yeah, and do you have much in the Egypt realm of things?
Well, we've got plenty from overseas, lands far and distant. He says
Excellent.
as he kind of pushes a curtain to a side that he doesn't need to push aside, and takes you through past sort of like dressers and other wooden pieces of furniture in various states of disrepair. Do you want to make any appraise rolls now?
Yeah. I always make the mistake of rolling my good dice that roll really well whenever I play this game, but I want to choose my bad dice that roll really poorly because this is the opposite of how games are supposed to work. So I want to roll low. No, 75. It was way over my 5 skill.
Yeah, I won't be spending luck on this one. I rolled a 96.
Ooh.
I think I'm probably somewhat distracted. Knock over a set of shelves. I'm probably distracted because I am still looking out and around for people following us, whilst trying to gauge whether this shopkeeper is, well, to what degree they're trying to fleece us. I think probably is Edwin's mood currently.
Okay, can you make a group look roll, which I think means Justin makes a look roll? Yeah?
If only that had been my appraise roll, I rolled a 5. I told you these dice suck.
Okay. So he directs you to a knife with a bone-looking handle.
Wow.
And he says, "I think this might be your nicest piece. Is this for a girlfriend? Is it romantic Valentine's Day gift?"
She absolutely loves Egypt. Egypt.
Well,
but not so
you
much
can
that I
see-
will pay over the odds.
I was going to say, you can
odds.
see his eyes lighting up. And he says, £5.
£5.
You think that is very reasonable.
Okay, £5.
You think
£5
it might be worth significantly more than that.
Maybe 6 or 7. No, I think that's. I think if I look at Edwin and go, this is my associate. He's a bit of an Egypt buff. He's always saying to me, Egypt. And really, I don't know. My wife has it with him sometimes. She spends a lot of time with. Never mind. Mr. Price, do you think that this is the ticket for what we've been looking for here?
Jonny, I'm presuming that the appraise roll from earlier carries through, given that it would
Yes,
seem...
and you also
yeah.
think that this is a great price.
Well, I'm not even going to say it.
Bad news. No.
How much will it take? How much is the membership for that club that we went to?
The membership was indeed £5.
Well, I think really this is really. If we were willing to spend it on that, we must be willing to spend it on this.
Does it? You're probably going to get more use out of this.
That's true. That's true. For my wife, and I think. Well, looking around, I go. This is the thing. I don't have much choice. What is my expendable? But my spending level is 10, so I think I can spend £5 without too much concern.
You can get the matching fork.
I could get the matching fork. You know what would be really good is this looks like it's been really well kept by, it looks in great condition. Could you expedition it up, maybe a bit of sand, or make it look genuine, like it's just arrived off the boat from Egypt, like we can sell this a bit. Maybe do you have any maybe some papyrus, something we can use to add credentials to this. I want her to think that this is just fallen out of the pharaoh's sarcophagi.
Right, like a certificate. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Ideally a papyrus, but it could be on anything.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Thank you. Let's grab it and run. Like it's just no, that's good.
And he comes back with like the worst scroll that you have ever seen. You cannot read what it says.
Cool. That could be good, actually.
On a piece of. You don't think it's papyrus, but it's like maybe just really old, crusty paper that's been in this warehouse for 40 years.
Cool.
But it,
Does it have newsprint on the back?
No, it's just. It kind of looks semi-legit if you could read what it said.
Maybe I hope. My hope is that it looks legit enough that we might want to go to an Egyptologist to confirm its veracity.
It's like a bone-looking handle, with kind of like a slightly sort of engraved image of almost like a water scene. So there's like two birds and kind of some reeds. So you could believe potentially that it was, Egyptian in origin.
Yes. Good. No, I think this is exactly what we're looking for. And do you gift wrap? Just joking. We can
he elbows you again.
Oh God,
a little bit too hard.
No, I think we can stretch to £5. And I will count out the individual pound notes, and I think we're there.
Pleasure, squires. Happy Valentine's.
And to you. Saying to
you see him. He kind of looks over and sees that somebody else has wandered in, and he kind of runs over and does the same spiel as he'd done.
I have no idea if this thing is worth £1 or a shilling. Or even less.
Same here, I'm afraid.
Ah, damn. Well, we've paid for it now, and we have a certificate. maybe we should ask the Penny Foundation to verify its authenticity. Maybe we would even pay for such a service.
Why not?
Why not?
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? I'll kind of wave as I leave the shop to the nice. I love like the tat seller, and we could go back.
Cool. So the folks who are going to Company's House, which is open until lunchtime on a Saturday. So are you just inquiring for any records on Henson?
Yes.
I think I might approach Mr. Bunn, presumably maybe Mr. Hobbs. We've gone away, so we don't know. Basically, suggesting that we approach it as if we have a business inquiry of some such, although we aren't really sure what Henson Manufacturing produced just yet, are we? Are we? Did we get that information?
I'm not sure we need to. These are only civil servants. I'm not sure we desperately need to give a reason or deception at this point, at least.
Oh. Well, okay, I'm happy to go with that then.
Unless I'm completely wrong about that as a person who's only experienced Company's House via the internet.
That is the limit of my knowledge.
Yeah, there is a huge amount of information that is publicly accessible there with no prior explanation as to why you want to view it.
I like to, Mrs. Farwell's just like, well, I've never actually been to Company's House, so I suppose that makes a lot of sense.
Well, I will say that perhaps depending on your propensity for improv, maybe if we need to push someone for information at some point, we can defer to your inclinations.
Very well.
So you head in, and there is a young man at the front desk. Says, "Good morning.
Good
How
morning.
can I help?"
We're looking to see if there's any information of a company known as Henson Manufacturing.
Based in London?
We believe it's somewhere in Derbyshire.
Very good. He goes to a file cabinet and is rifling through, and then kind of pauses for a second and goes into like a little reference card pull-out box, and then goes into a different cabinet, pulls out a file, and says, "There you are. As ever, please be careful, and you may use the table and chairs opposite. Let me know if you have any questions."
Thank you very much.
So there's no need for a library use roll because the information is incredibly readily available in this file. And so you find that the business was sold in 1921 to Edward Gavigan. However, there's not really anything in the way of reported accounts. The business is listed as manufacture and fabrication of machine parts. And the address is, you could cross-reference and find that it is on the western edge of Derby, the town of Derby.
Is Lower Edale on the western side of Derby by any chance?
Lower Edale, if you at the point that you do this cross-referencing with maps, Lesser Edale, sorry, it's about 45 miles north of Derby.
Okay. That's not quite as neat as I was hoping for, Mrs. Farwell.
No, although a lot closer than here. Well, regardless, it's a little unusual that there's not much in the way of accounts. Is that I'm assuming most companies would have accounts of their trading over 4 years. Maybe?
I would assume they'd need to file something with HMRC.
Is that the kind of thing an accounting role might be able to understand better?
Oh,
Yeah, true. We can have a go. Gotta tick that accounting.
There's your maths role.
You can have a roll.
yeah.
If
you would
only I
like.
hadn't been dragged off to look at knives.
Mm.
Oh yeah. God forbid the Farwell's couple spend some freaking time together.
No,
I
that's
don't think
way,
this is only come first. No, I failed.
way over my accounting, sadly.
Okay. Yeah. You're not sure. You don't necessarily think it's that strange for a Derbyshire company's house in London. Things can take time, or maybe they send a bulk every 5 years, or you don't know.
Machine parts. I don't think that tells us very much.
It is very vague.
Mm.
Does the record say who the previous owner was before Gavigan bought it?
No, doesn't.
Okay. As 21 is the year of the expedition, but it's also the year of, I'm sure, 1,000 other things.
Mm. Yes.
It was 1920 that the expedition took place, I think.
Oh, okay. Yes, it was. Oh, was Peru 1921?
Peru could have been.
What with
maybe.
you guys?
Yeah.
I think it was 1923.
Yeah, it's not been that long.
Oh no, sorry,
No,
1921. Yeah. My
Oh.
bad.
Oh, it was.
Hang on, are we implicating ourselves?
I hope not. Nobody sold their manufacturing business before they went to Peru, did they?
That'd be a twist.
Well, I don't really feel like there's very much suggesting here that we should go up and travel to Derby, to me.
No, other than the area has been mentioned to us twice.
The very vague area as well, unfortunately. Maybe at least if we ask the clerk at the front whether it's usual to have minimal accounts, they'd be willing to answer that question, I suppose.
That is a very good idea.
If that's unusual, then maybe that's something more, I suppose.
I'll head over to the desk and do exactly that.
Yeah. He says, well, not best practice. It's not unusual. I imagine I could pull 5 files out of here, especially ones not based in London, and we wouldn't have much in the way of accounts for them on record. By the time they've been late to file, been chased by the tax office, filed, come over here, it can be literally years. Sometimes the tax office don't send them over to us, and it's them that's at fault, not the company. So, no, not a reason to be particularly suspicious of their legitimacy.
We're finding some of the information in this file a little bit vague. Do you have any recommendations of where to look to find more information?
Much as it pains me to say, I suppose there could be some information in the library that isn't here, or I suppose the local tax office for the business.
Would they respond to correspondence, or would it need to be an in-person visit?
They should. Yeah.
Excellent. I'll, if we're done with it, hand the file back and thank him for his work.
No problem.
Sounds good.
Have a good day.
And you.
Winifred now regretting not coming to buy the artifact.
Well, we could stop off at the library for a check. I can't remember if we tried anything last night. We
That
could
sounds
write to the
logical
Derby
to me.
tax office. And if you wanted, now that we know what it is they manufacture, you could perhaps write to them with a business opportunity.
Suppose, I mean, I'm not sure if this feels like it's perfectly possible that the man or associates just have inherited businesses or, well sold businesses that are just unrelated, I suppose. At this point, we know that there is something directly evil going, well, at least we suspect there is something directly evil going on at the house. Might this not be anything to do with it? I don't know. What I would like to discover is if they are actually manufacturing. It would be fantastic to find out if there is something else entirely going on there, rather than selling machine parts or whatever they're doing. It's a cover for something, but I don't know if we'll be able to find that out without going. And at this point, we don't have very much to go off to suggest we should.
Well, I have been wondering if maybe we should be following up on the other two articles a bit closer, as Jackson obviously saw a link and we haven't found it yet. So I've been wondering about visiting the area to speak to some of the witnesses from the article. So perhaps this is another reason to go?
I suppose, yes. As I said earlier, we have a little bit of time. It's worthwhile investigating things thoroughly. Well, let's go to the library first anyway and see if we find anything.
Yes.
Okay. Gonna make a library use roll.
Yes. It's a hard success.
Yes. It's a normal success, but I get to take library use. Yay.
Where was I? So you don't get any accounts, but you got a hard success, John.
Mm-hmm.
You get a kind of layout of the almost like a blueprint for the area. So there is a main workshop, as well as a large open plan shed style building, which also contains a furnace, and then there is a small wooden shed on site also, and it looks like there is a, based on the schematics, this is if nothing has changed since the building as well, a 3-meter high brick wall, and wrought iron gates, as well as like for vehicles and such, and then also like a smaller gate built into the wall for people to walk through. But yeah, workshop, large shed, and then small wooden shed as well.
All right, I'll try my best at making a copy of that.
So if you were to visit, that would give you some, if you were trying to sneak or what have you, that would give you a benefit. Not that you would need to, of course.
Excellent. Might we have decided to meet up at the Farwell's house, maybe for lunch?
Is that a good idea? We're slightly less bothered about being not safe there at the moment.
Well, more accurately, it doesn't seem to matter where we are.
I see your point. That is a fair assessment. Not safe as in we have to worry about it anymore. We obviously do have to worry about it, but there's no point actually faffing with it.
I am buying one of the carnations that is sold on the corner of the street on the way up. It doesn't look good. It's just a single flower. And Mrs. Farrell will almost certainly know exactly the flower seller that it comes from, and that this is a low effort gift. But it is a gift. And I imagine it's more than I'll be getting.
Sam,
Can
you make an appraise roll for me, which will go for both the flower and the knife, please?
Cool.
Sure. I was going to praise the knife. I love the idea of praising the flower too.
Oh, crit fumble, please.
I fail, and I don't think it's the pushable roll.
Okay.
Would have liked to praise the knife.
So you also think that this well, do you say how much it cost?
The knife?
Yes.
I suppose, given my allowance in question, I probably should share the exact price. Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Farwell also thinks that this is very good value.
Fantastic.
Okay, I will just give a approving nod.
And also thinks that you may have spent far too much on this flower based on its quality.
Sure. Now I'm skeptical of the value of the knife.
I will not say a single thing about the flower. I will take it from you and just give you a gentle pat on the shoulder.
Okay, cool. Not even a peck on the cheek level. Fuck me.
Not anywhere else's presence. You'll get a peck
not
on the
in
cheek
public.
around the corner.
Sure. Everything I've learned from Dick Van Dyke about 1920s London is a lie.
Including the accent.
You don't need an appraise roll to know that.
I think that I think this knife is so good value that I'm slightly concerned that we might have stumbled upon a genuine occult artifact. Is it worth rolling occult to see if we have found something separate to its value? Well, I suppose probably not, actually. I don't know. Tell me what you think, Johnny, but I'm even talking myself out of it as I say it.
You don't think it's an occult artifact?
Cool, good. Well, I want to put my main idea out there, which is I think we have this certificate, we have this thing. I think we could even post. I don't know. I feel like we could take a photo of it. Hobbs could take a photo and make it look using his, methods. Make it look not very good quality. Maybe make it look maybe like it was taken on a sandy dune with camels in the background. I'm not sure. And we could present this to Penhew in a letter or Penhew Foundation a letter and say, we have bought this artifact. We have the certificate of its provenance. We would be interested in having this item verified for insurance purposes, because we're claiming, we can claim it's worth hundreds of pounds. That's what we paid for it, and we want this insurance. Our insurance company, which Price can knock up some letter from the insurance company, has required us to get it valued by a professional, and this is the organisation we're coming to. That's what I would say is that's my suggestion for our approach. Putting it out there.
I think that makes sense.
I can always rely on Ted.
I mean, we have that option, or we just break in again. That worked well for us last time.
I think this isn't the worst idea. Yes,
it lends some weight behind, other than looking like just a group of madmen that have just got their hands on a knife. It lends some weight to it, and I'm sure they must get
why we're doing
people.
There'll be a specific queue for people who turn up with tatty knives and dodgy certificates.
What, like an Antiques Roadshow sort of thing?
Well, yeah.
6 to 8 weeks, we'll get an appointment.
It's worth a go. That's my thought.
I think you could pull it off.
Thank you,
Mr.
Barton.
We didn't find very much about Henson Manufacturing, did we, Mr. Barton?
No. Well, I found a blueprint. I found that it is on the western edge of Derby, which is not in Lesser Edale, disappointingly. Gavigan bought it in 1921. They allegedly manufacture machine parts, and company's house had no accounts listed, but the clerk seemed to think that was not preferred, but not exceptional.
It would be quite interesting if Gavigan had acquired this building in 1921 for a particular nefarious reason, and nothing has been sold there since, of course, but at the moment we have no evidence of that, unfortunately.
Well, in visiting the location, I imagine that we could probably talk to, they will need, presumably, employees to keep the place running. Perhaps if we were to visit the place and talk to people in the area, in the pubs and so on, we might find employees who are willing to talk to us about at least maybe what was done before 1921 and whether they know anything since, whether the place has changed output or why indeed Gavigan bought it.
I think that's a good idea. And I think while we're there, we should visit Lesser Edale to follow up on the article.
Yes, given that we have the time, it makes sense to me. Perhaps we can send this letter to the Penhew Foundation first and then make our journey and see if a response has come to us on our return.
I do wonder whether we should also be following up on the article of that artist chap.
Was he in London as well?
Yes.
I mean, if we've got time to spare, it seems like we might as well. Worst case is we cross it off as anything of interest. We waste an afternoon just doing an initial check. It's better than leaving a thread dangling, though, isn't it?
Well, I imagine, given that we would want to get into Derby in good time, we can send that letter today. And do we know where? Were there any locations associated with that artist fellow?
Don't believe so. Let me double check the article. That's the wrong one. London artist.
Well, we could always just contact the Scoop, and presumably their journalist would have ways of talking to Mr. Shipley in the first place. So,
Yes, the article doesn't mention a museum representative or anything.
So we would have to go back to them then, I suppose. Well, let's focus on one thing at a time then. It seems sensible to head to, after we send this letter anyway, head to Derby first and see what we can find out there. Does everyone agree?
Well, I don't suppose. I was just wondering whether perhaps two upstanding, well-furnished individuals as the Farwells might perhaps have an art dealer. He's currently all the rage.
Writing more
like
letters.
Would you like to buy me a piece of art for Valentine's Day too, Wilfred?
Will our budget stretch to it?
Well, I suppose it's in the name.
No, we could make inquiries. Inquiries are free. And if you see something you like, why not? Let's buy art for the house that we don't spend any time in.
And may have to move away from after it gets burnt down to the ground.
Cool. No, I'm fine with this plan.
I'd be interested in that.
Okay. So, how would you usually contact your art dealer? Do they have an office or phone?
No, do they have phones yet? Yeah, I mean, like, art dealer's got a phone. They serve people who've got phones. That's really their demographic.
Yeah,
Of course.
You know, if you haven't got a phone, they probably don't sell you art. Like, you know, yeah. And I don't know if we have a phone, but we can find someone who has a phone and make a phone call.
You'll probably have a phone.
I don't. I mean, maybe you're right. I've no frame of reference for this, so I'm going to go with why not.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's on the edge of time, isn't it? So how up to date do you think we are with technology?
In the house, I mean, do we pay a phone bill for a house that we're never in? Like,
Yeah,
would we have paid to reconnect the phone line after like being away for 3 months or something? I don't think we've got round to it yet, but we can let this is the bollocks logistics. So let's move on to having the phone call part of it.
Okay, let's say that your art dealer's name is Francesca. So you call, and you it rings a few times, and then is answered with a hello.
Shall I do this conversation? Because I'm just thinking either higher praise.
Go for it. Go for it. Just ask her how she enjoyed her last reading and whether she would like another one anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mrs. Farwell will indeed say, oh, Francesca, it's Mrs. Farwell. It's been a long time since we've been in touch. How has your horoscope been?
Oh, well, what I took from what you said is that I would meet a tall, dark, handsome man, and that's yet to happen. But things are proceeding well. I would be happy to have an updated reading at some time.
Ah, well, today is the day, so you never know.
Well, surely you're not calling about that, though, Mrs. Farwell. Can I help you with procuring something?
No, indeed. Apologies. It is a business inquiry, I suppose, for you at the very least. Yes, we thought perhaps for a little celebration for today, it might be nice to look into some new artists that we've heard about. I've heard there's a particular name who's all the rage at the moment. Miles Shipley is the name of the artist. Do you know of him and his work?
I'm just making a roll.
An art dealer.
Yes, I know of Shipley. Are you sure that it's his pieces? It shouldn't be a problem, Mrs. Farwell. But
you know me.
They certainly divide opinion, I will say. Have you seen any of his works?
I've seen accounts of them and such, and well, perhaps in the first instance we could see some of the works. That might be possible if that could be arranged. But yes, I'm definitely interested in, at the very least, having a look, perhaps being in touch with the artist if they're of interest. Well, you know me and my husband, we're not exactly the usual client. We like to explore and try new things, and perhaps experience unique ideas. And certainly he struck my eye as someone who was doing something very different, even if it might be too much for some people.
Yes. Well, I can certainly give you some information about him and where his works have ended up, if that would be of interest.
Thank you, Francesca.
I don't have any pieces at present of his. As I've said, forgive me, but I do keep some more popular pieces in stock, much as it pains me as a lover of art to suggest that some are, well, how do I put this kindly, less discerning customers. A flower on canvas hung in the bathroom is not the same. Anyway,
I won't tell, I promise, Francesca.
This is simply to say that one of his pieces may not attract in the people from whom I make my daily bread, Mrs. Farwell. Anyway, he's had some interest from some interesting characters. Have you heard of Alistair Crowley?
We heard of Alistair Crowley? That name rings a bell.
I think Mrs. Farwell
I think
would have
Mrs.
heard
Farwell
of
would know
Alistair
Alistair
Crowley.
because he's an occultist. So
Yeah.
and you're all about
okay.
occult.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a famous occultist that is in many Call of Cthulhu stories, including ones we probably played. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah,
yes, I think
he has been a customer, and hang on, I have you can hear like this sound.
Oh,
of a
how is
flipping book.
Crowley?
I might have met him. I'm not sure.
He is a piece of work, so hopefully not.
Yeah.
He
avoided.
He described his purchase as an ode to Bacchus in its audacity. There is also Algernon Blackwood is a customer, and I believe has a Shipley on his study wall. He perceives there are some occult aspects of the painting that he purchased, and that was his interest there.
Is there any information about where Shipley gets his inspirations from? What draws him to such works that stand out to individuals such as this?
I think he keeps that to himself, which surely only further increases the interest from those of that ilk.
Yes, of course.
If we're kind of like in the corridor around this phone conversation happening, would we have? Is it possible that we might have caught snatches of it enough to?
I
Yeah,
could see. I'm
probably.
perfectly happy for Wilfred having like been there to listen. So.
Yeah, I guess I just bring up like maybe like would you be interested in seeing some? We might have some photographs that could be of interest to him for inspiration.
I won't bring that up just yet, but I'll keep that in my head.
If it pays hard to get.
Other things of note, perhaps, if there were a meeting organised or a conversation about sale, is that he's he's quite the egotist, Mrs. Farwell, about his paintings, and well, as I'm sure you'll agree, many men do. He loves praise.
Indeed.
There are a number of galleries that have approached him about putting on a show, and he's turned them all down. Prefers private sales. And as a small personal note, he lives with his mother, who is a delightful old lady.
Interesting. Well, if that is the way that his art may get viewed and purchased, then perhaps I shall arrange a meeting with him. He certainly sounds like an unusual character. Do you have any further advice for such, unless there is anything else you would suggest?
I can raise a conversation with him and be back in touch with you for next steps, perhaps.
Excellent. That's much appreciated. Of course, you shall receive your regular commission for your help in this. It's very kind of you.
Very kind. Perhaps we can waive a little in favour of a further reading, Mrs. Farwell.
Always welcome. You don't need to waive it for that. It's a favour to a friend.
Well, consider it the same.
I will thank her and then hang up the phone. Well, that went well. Certainly direction of inquiry. I suspect we'll be hearing back from Francesca fairly soon about a potential meeting with Miles Shipley. Sounds like a pleasant character and running in unpleasant circles from the sound of it.
Well, sounds like he's as poached as an egg. He,
To be perfectly frank, from the sound of who his patrons are and what his works do, and I'll probably look. Is everyone kind of vaguely interested?
Why not?
Hanging around. I assume most people might be here, so I'll look at whoever is here of the group and say, I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Shipley has been reading of books that may have drawn close attention and boggled the mind somewhat, given our own experiences, and it may have inspired his art.
It may be worth taking a few of the occult. I think certainly, the symbol that was carved in.
I agree. Something to draw his attention, but we don't want to go trading books.
No,
with him. I think that could be very dangerous.
But he may have knowledge himself of these symbols of the cults. If he moves in those circles,
indeed,
he could be a source of knowledge.
If myself and my husband are meeting with Mr. Shipley in the next day or two, does anyone else want to come, or are we planning on splitting up while you head to Derby at this stage? So you three.
It's probably wise, I think, to a few of us maybe to head to Derby. If you only think we've got maybe 10 days. I mean, we get the train up, it's not going to take like a week to get there, is it?
Depends whether it's one of Jonny's trains.
That's true. Maybe we shouldn't get the train up.
Never going to see you again.
Train from London to Derby breaks down in the snow in a small Scottish village.
Yeah.
We got real lost.
I
think, well, I don't have much of a grounding in art. Though I would admit, I think Mr. Farwell's handiness could perhaps come in handy in Derby. I personally have no idea what a machine factory looks like from the outside. I don't know about Mr. Price or Mr. Hobbs, but if we're trying to look for something suspicious.
And
Although
then
to
I
be
wouldn't be able to go and see the art. Oh.
To be perfectly frank, I would feel moderately more comfortable if you could join me, Wilfred, seeing this Mr. Shipley. He doesn't sound like the most
You could
trustworthy
take Price. He's good in a tight spot.
My
That's
point is
true.
more, I'm not sure we need to split up.
Oh, I see. I guess it depends when we hear back from Francesca. And if how much rush we feel like we're in. Are we planning on visiting Mr. Gavigan's house before?
But
this
what
invitation?
I think we should do is arrange to meet the artist when we get back. That gives him time to prepare. We can send the letter to
Penhue Foundation.
The Penhue Foundation this week, and assume that it will take days for it to arrive, days for it to be interpreted, and days for it to be acted upon, unless we send it by courier, by hand, which I think seems a bit gauche. I think that gives us time to do a trip to Derby and be back within a week. Or back in a week, to aim to be back in a week. That gives us a few days here to sort anything out before the 24th. Is that the day we're concerned? Has the
23rd.
23rd. That's my suggestion.
I largely agree with that. I think a week in Derby might be, well, I suppose we won't know until we get there, but I hope it would be less than a week.
Unless this artist says that he can see us tomorrow morning, I think that a week is a perfectly good amount of time for him to spend some time. And we can also, like, if we want to, we can also, put some tantalizing, clues about the fact that we might have things that might interest him. I think that could be useful to pique his interest and also to get the most out of our conversation. If he goes into it knowing that there might be something in it for him as well.
I very much agree. I think once we make contact with him, that's a good idea, perhaps before we meet him. So it sounds like we have a plan. We send the letter to the Penhue Foundation and hopefully organise a meeting with them and arrange a meeting with this Shipley character. And then both of those will be prepared for when we return from our excursion to Derby then. That sounds doable.
Yes.
We've done a lot of planning and phone calls. I don't remember any of us making lunch, and that was the whole point of us coming here today. So
I was wondering, Jonny, given the spending level, do you think we have like a servant in the house in this?
I wouldn't have thought so.
On the edge. But I was thinking we might have like one. I'm not sure.
You might have a cleaner that comes once a week or something,
Yeah.
I don't think we have a servant, But anyway,
I can't remember what's Mrs. Farwell's
credit
rating, because that's higher than Mr. Farwell's, right?
Yeah, Mrs. Farwell's credit, it's 50, so actually it's not like the same.
And mine's 40. Just putting it out there, guys.
Which is notably lower than 50.
Sometimes it is very notable.
I love to imagine that Mrs. Farwell actually 100% knows you can afford basically everything the same as me.
I am my own
really
maid.
enjoys flaunting it.
She just enjoys spoiling her man.
Yeah, we probably don't.
Okay.
We'll make lunch. Oh.
So the first thing that's happening is that you are drafting this letter to the Penhue Foundation. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I'm happy to do that with my charm. but or we could use, or there's people who can do good writing and such using their high education skills who can also write proper letters. That,
I'm happy with either of those. Are you also planning on trying to get Jack to do a photo?
I would like to see if Jack is able to do that, or by that I mean Ted.
I was going to say, I hadn't been born yet.
Do you think? Do you just I think it's worth sending the letter tomorrow if it means that Ted has enough time to take some interesting photos, and then I guess I kind of say, like, if it looks like this photo might have been able to have been, whatever we could do that might makes it look like it maybe was taken in a desert somewhere
on an archaeological site. Yeah, just go to the builder's yard, get some sand.
I've got plenty of sand.
Put
If you
all
want
the
sand,
lamps
I'll go
into
into my cupboard with sand, and got cork in there. Got some. What do you want, mate?
Some camels.
Yeah, you got your camels. You mean the cigarettes, right? That's...
Okay, let me roll, and we'll decide how.
Yeah,
how
photography
many
roll,
props we need.
please.
That is a success.
Okay. And yeah, Justin, if you want to use charm as your method for.
Well, I mean, I do want to use charm, but I'm aware that my English language is much better than my charm. So, but I use charm.
Oh no, you can use the English skill.
Well, I mean, I suppose that's whoever's got the highest education score, but I'll use English if I want to. I'm a good writer. I'm a good penman, which is nice. I rolled a 2 under 70, so it's kind of. This is where, like, anyone looking over my shoulder goes, "Oh, you were a criminal," you don't even talk like this. So I'm going to tick my English language skill and say, "Oh, I haven't read a good fake letter in some time."
I think it can go up. I think the base is your education, but I assume that your English language could go up higher than your general education level.
I mean, it has a tick box, so I'm assuming it can go
up. Okay, great. Was there anything else? Were there any other steps to that letter when you were planning?
I think the main thing is just to kind of say that we have, like, pick a large amount that like we think a real aficionado of our means might spend if they were kind of like, overspend. Like maybe it's something like 80 or 120 pounds or something. Something that would be a dumb amount of money to spend, but something someone who's really into Egypt might spend, and say that we had just some stuff like we've really got into Egypt and Egyptology after visiting the British Museum, and we found this, want to spend it, need to insure it. We've been asked to get a professional evaluation of it, and would it be possible to take a look at the item, for us to bring the item down to the office to be inspected and get a valuation? We're happy to leave the item with them for the valuation, and would consider it a real honor. Please reply to Edwin Price's address, my lawyer's address. No, please reply to this address. I mean, do we want to give these guys our address? We keep giving people our address. Do we need a PO box? Does anyone have any ideas about that?
You can always give the. I mean, you joked about Edwin Price's address, but he is your solicitor, his office, or the firm he works at, as a correspondent.
Mr. Price?
I don't know whether he works as a loan sort of thing or as a solicitor's firm, but that's a...
Or agent Mr. Barton, who is a specialist in languages, who has helped us acquire the item.
I think, as I am already known to the Penhew Foundation,
that's
may
a good
be
point.
suspicious.
Our art dealer, Mr. Hobbs, is a photographer by trade, but moonlights as a... no. Well, I'm happy to give our address unless Mr. Price
is happy
thinks.
with it.
Yeah, sorry. Unless Mr. Price thinks that his address has sufficient cover with him actually being a lawyer.
No, I
Cool.
my belief is that we are already known to Mr. Gavigan.
Hmm.
Must give a address, I suppose, though.
No, we need to give an address. What's our private? What's our PI? Would you think he would take a letter for us?
Okay, still doing. Tell about him.
Oh, why don't we
Thomas
set
Thomas
up
Gray.
a PO box?
Yeah,
It's
surely,
still
Mr.
the afternoon, I presume. We can
Surely,
just
Mr.
walk
Price has a PO box available to him. PO
But
boxes
this
exist
is
in
your
Rising
scheme,
Titans?
mate. You can.
Oh wow! That's going to be how it is
Lost
then.
him. I think you lost him when you started walking in and going Egypty.
I do still have some pride in my job.
That you won't be an actual lawyer for us. Never mind, Mr. Price.
This is not being an actual lawyer. This is
That's
fraud.
fair enough. This is fraud.
This is
Dangerous.
quite
Good
fraudulent.
point.
It could be a real dagger. Well, it is a real dagger. It could be a real Egypt dagger.
I don't
Never
think
mind.
that's
No, it
Mr.
couldn't. I saw the chap write the certificate.
I do not want to involve Mr. Price any further than he's comfortable being involved. I have a lot of respect for him and his profession and his opinion. And so I will be writing my own address and signing it with my own name and just saying we will have to sell this place next year. Unfortunately, like we just will. Yeah, and that's the letter, I think. So respond to us with when this would be convenient and if there are any fees associated with that appraisal.
Okay, brilliant. So that's what you're doing. Steve, is Edwin doing anything during this sort of period where these couple of things are happening?
Um,
Finding a job at a different law firm, probably, or for some new clients.
Probably not at the moment. No, still scribbling in notebooks and things.
Okay. So, yeah, you send the letter off. Ted manages to get the picture looking pretty much how you would like. Like he said, almost artistically worse than it could look. I was going to have it that if he failed the role, it would just be like a really clean, nice picture that didn't, but
Still
yeah,
got the
he's
tag
managed
on.
to,
Yeah, with the price.
yeah. And yeah, so you send that
made in
off.
Derby.
And you, Sam, would you have asked her to call you back, Francesca?
I think that was the expectation, given we
Okay.
weren't rushing out of the house. I was hoping in the next hour or two I might hear something back from her.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get a call back. And she says, Mrs. Farwell?
Oh, yes, Francesca. Any luck?
Yes, I've spoken to Mr. Shipley. He is in the middle of a piece at the moment. So he has asked if you could wait 2 or 3 days, potentially. But he...
My husband and some friends are going to be heading out of town for at least 2 or 3 days ourselves, maybe up to close to a week. So,
very
works
good.
very well for us.
Well, he's happy for me to provide his address to you. So perhaps you could just attempt to call round when you return. I'll let him know your estimated return date, and I'm sure it'll be fine. I imagine he takes some breaks between finishing a piece and starting the next one.
Excellent. We don't need to arrange a specific time or date with him then. Simply call in as and when works for us after he has finished.
I think that's fine. Again, if you wish to double check, you are welcome to contact me, and I can contact him in turn. But yes, as I say, he's happy for you to be provided his address. And she gives you his address, which is near Sloane Square. So it's an SW1W postcode.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I will note down the address. Excellent. Thank you very much. Any other advice if we're going to go and meet him beyond, well, go out of our way to compliment him a little more to perhaps reduce the cost of the artworks?
That was her laughing. She says, "No, I think that will, as I say, he likes praise and does have quite an ego. So just, I suppose, be careful not to say anything that might hurt that as well. I'm sure that's the case with many of these arty types."
Yes, I can imagine. This might be an odd question. If you don't know, then no problem at all. Has he ever shown any particular interest in unusual literature or strange stories or odd folklore and such, as far as you know?
I haven't heard of him specifically saying anything about that, but based on what I've heard of many of his artworks, I imagine that he does consume some interesting other forms of other art mediums as well.
Yes, that's what I was imagining as well. I wondered if I could do a little reading beforehand, but anyway, yes, thank you very much. We'll call in and see what we can make of his works then.
No problem. Enjoy your trip.
We will, and once we're back, I'll contact you about your reading as well.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Take care. Hang up the phone. Excellent. Well, there's no need to arrange anything. Apparently, he'll be done with the work in the next few days, and then we can go to the house where him and his mother live whenever works for us. Apparently, just don't insult his ego.
Got it.
The actual address is 6 Holbein Mews, Holbein Mews. I suppose you don't need that, but it is given. So,
and if we don't remember it, Johnny's not going to let us go.
Yeah, which house are you going to?
Which number? You've knocked on an old lady's door.
Good.
Yeah,
That's what we want.
Which of the paintings is the muse? I wonder. Is it Henry VIII? Is it one of the other of the Tudor courts? Who might this be referring to? I wonder. Never mind.
Okay, is there anything else that you want to do before you head off the next day?
I will write a very brief letter to my parents with a plan to maybe stop off at theirs on the way back. They are in Leicester.
Okay.
So we sort of roughly go through.
Yep. Nothing else for anybody else? Cool. In that case, that seems like a good point to call it for the evening. A few minutes early, but no point heading off to then stop. So cool. Thanks, everybody. If anybody has any questions or comments, put them in the chat, please, and we can chat about those. As far as I'm aware, we are on next week. Links to loads of stuff below the stream, our other streaming platforms, our social media, our Patreon, and our Discord. The 5 years of Telling Tales video is on YouTube now, celebrating 5-year anniversary of the channel. I did put the link in the chat earlier. I'm going to do it again right now.
If you've seen it, if anyone in the chat has seen it and wants to like say something about it, do, because it's nice to get feedback on these things. I'm curious if anyone who's here has actually seen it and enjoyed it. So, tell us.
I mean, I have, but that's no surprise.
Oh yeah, you've
seen it a lot.
Steve's sick of it.
The question is, have Jonny or Jack seen it? Because they're the ones who weren't in it.
I haven't yet.
I might just skim
I
through
haven't had
if I'm in any
chance.
bits.
Well, if you need an advertisement for it, here's some 42.
I haven't had the time to watch the 5-year video, but it was cool to see Matt. Yeah.
Matt's in it.
He is.
Yeah. And it was nice to have. We really managed to dig down deep into, for example, a lot of the old Simbaroon lore of bits and bobs as well, which is very satisfying, especially when gathering the clips together. Which, by the way, took us a while, which is why you may have noticed there was a bit of a delay between Jonny first mentioning it in Cthulhu streams back in like October. Until he appeared.
Well, by the lampshade that, like.
I liked this one from Steve.
Do you have any mummified bodies you could leave it sticking out of?
Nice.
Was that the
people,
knife?
People sold
Yeah, it was,
mummies.
wasn't it? Yeah.
People
Yeah,
sold
yeah.
mummies. It wasn't a ridiculous
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. And the 20s was probably more or less the peak of this stuff, wasn't it? I'd imagine.
I don't know.
Doesn't
Maybe.
sound peak.
Maybe. I think maybe a bit. Maybe the 1800s was a bit more
There was-
mummy sensation.
Like 18
You
I
could buy
can't-
anything from Harrods.
I can't
That's true.
remember what happened first. The UK government like legislating against the selling of dead bodies, which I think was actually quite before, or is just running out of mummies. I think that did actually happen. We kind of ran out of unclaimed mummies
I
because we
think I
kept
saw-
eating them.
Oh God!
Yeah,
I think
no,
I saw
we did eat a lot of them. Not
I
personally. but-
saw some sort of video TV show where it was involving cat. It was it was a video. That was it. It was involving cats and like where did cats come from?
Sure.
And one of the
Other
bits
cats.
of evidence was that England bulk bought a whole load of cat mummies
Cool.
to use as fertilizer.
Sure.
So there's a whole lot
Why
of
not? It makes perfect sense. I mean,
Yeah.
I am
the-
going to use diamonds as toilet roll. Yep, that is sensible.
like it was also ground up mummy was used to make a yellow pigment that was very, very hard to recreate. So
Yep.
that pigment disappeared for quite a while.
There is now
that was-
a lab made alternative.
I thought you'd say quite a while until we mummified some people and they were.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been leaving them to dry out.
Yeah,
They
there's
ran
any
out.
factory production line.
I mean, you know, we definitely don't need to get into it, but even mummy, like eating mummies is not the weirdest thing that like 19th century British people did. So you know, it's
Probably not even close.
no.
No.
So yeah, cool. Sorry about that, the rest of the world. We did a bad thing again.
We genuinely are, though.
We have changed. We've really changed. British culture. We're not those people anymore.
We're not eating mummies anymore.
I don't know. This is an aside. It's to do with the British Empire and dead bodies, but it's got nothing to do with Egypt. Last year there was a huge repatriation of all of the Aboriginal American corpses that we stole.
Oh, yeah.
They were given back to their families because their
That's
families
good.
are still alive because it was
And
that
it took-
recent.
It took literally decades and decades of them asking, and it's like, why didn't
Oof.
we just do it immediately?
Mm.
Why? Why would you not?
See,
And I think we'll keep these.
I was just having the thought that if the British government now tried to outlaw eating mummies, it would probably be classed as
The woke. So
woke.
woke.
Like some
Yeah,
cultural
yeah.
bullshit. Woke nonsense. Can't even
Can't
eat
even
mummies anymore.
can't even eat corpses anymore.
Getting rid of our British traditions.
It just goes to show not all traditions are good or worth celebrating. Quite a lot of them are
Traditions
not
just peer
good.
pressure from dead people.
Wow, I like that.
and show
yeah,
who's
I
boss, we
see,
eat them.
And again, why are we not saving this for the Patreons? This is good chat. We need to stop having it on the stream and save it for the Patreons.
Let's give Jack's little interesting bit of information. Dick Van Dyke is a mere 10 months away from being born.
Oh, wow.
That is both at the
Wow.
time the stream is set and now.
It's actually Call of Dick Van Dyke.
That's
Cool.
horrifying.
Cool.
Echoing over the
He just-
rooftops.
He just bursts out of the sea and destroys a
Dick Van Dyke is a
whaling
character
vessel.
that you can meet later on in the story of Masks of
exactly.
Nyarlathotep.
The whole point of Eldritch Horror, right, is like you can't predict what is going to happen. And if that was the end of Masks of Nyarlathotep, it's safe to say, without this conversation, none of us would have predicted it.
Oh, good.
I think this is a good note to end the summary on.
The Victorians were weird. Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have done
Um,
those things if we were Victorians.
We answered Max's
cool.
questions as well.
Max's
know,
question.
sorry,
Oh, everyone's still alive.
Mhm.
That one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, we are.
Yes.
I mean, not everyone. I mean, we have lost some people along the way.
We're very slow, which might be safer, or it might just mean we're getting to the danger more slowly. I'm not sure.
it's fine. It's
Totally
fine.
Oh, but by the way, on the topic of me not knowing names of anyone, I've deliberately tried to. I know I ran one Cthulhu story briefly on the channel, but I didn't do. I just looked at really big stuff. I didn't look at anything else because it was totally my own thing. I've tried to avoid all of like Cthulhu stuff before playing this. So in theory, I'm probably very naive, which is a good thing for playing this game, right? You're not supposed to know all about it, but also means I probably have no idea who all these people are. I might actually read some H.P. Lovecraft after we finish Masks of Nyarlathotep in 4 decades time. So
The thing with like you can read, I think you can read like the H.P. Lovecraft stories and not be spoiled of the game because the game made so much up, like
Yeah.
in terms
yeah,
of
true.
stats
I
and
gather
stuff like
that.
that. You know, made it into a game rather than just this guy that there wasn't like a canon that he actually wrote.
Yeah.
They're just vaguely, loosely associated stories.
I gather
that
people have like
anyone
tried to
could
create a
contribute.
canon.
Yeah, I think it's more come out of the game of
Makes
there
sense.
being an idea of outer gods and elder gods and them being a different thing. It
Yeah.
was he was just writing.
Well, there were various writers that they had a kind of an informal,
a club, wasn't it,
they
almost?
borrowed, they borrowed other people's ideas and riffed on them and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he sort of encouraged. I think they all encouraged it. She was just like, "Oh,
yeah.
you use the name."
Yeah, he did
Oh,
when he was
so
alive,
it's
didn't he?
I'll
That's
chuck
true.
that in as well because it sounds cool and
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
pays homage to my mate.
Max Writer has said, I don't know that there are any familiar Lovecraft people in Masks. The only reason that we're having this conversation currently, I think, is because Alistair Crowley came up and was mentioned in this session, who is obviously a real life person, but because he was an occulty person around at the time of Call of Cthulhu things, I think he's mentioned or used in a bunch of Call of Cthulhu pre-writtens.
I think he also.
Sorry.
You go, John.
He was mentioned in
One of mine.
what was the third of
Yeah.
the trilogy that I can't remember the name of.
I remember. His
I think
name.
he also, if you listen to, if you like, I know some of the players do listen to the BBC radio play series Mystery
Lovecraft
Machines.
Investigations.
You love some investigations. They Mystery Inc. They have Crowley as a recurring character in stories that they research about, which isn't surprising given he was historical.
Yeah, he's popped up in a whole load of things. Like Bookhounds of London and Fearful Symmetries are both, they're Trail of Cthulhu sort of source books based in the UK and London in the appropriate period. And yes, there's a whole load of historical figures that exist within them, which is kind of cool.
Ozzy Osbourne song.
Yeah.
It might be worth giving Crowley a cursory Google before we so that we're aware of the context of who he is before we start saying things like, "Oh, interesting," what he's got to
You
say
can find-
about important political
Anything.
concepts.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess he's an interesting guy. Just take his views with caution.
We don't subscribe to Crowler's views
Yes,
on this
you
channel.
can find
put
someone
it that way.
interesting without agreeing with them.
Yeah, he's fun to read about. We would not want to talk to him at a party.
Which is probably fine, given that I'm presuming. Anyway, never mind. Unless he figured out the whole, exit eternal life thing, which I don't think he did somehow.
You don't know that.
I don't know that.
I don't think
Apparently
it's
he's
worth
a
knowing that
feminist.
secret.
Good. Right. Yeah, we should be on next week. So thanks, players, and thanks, watchers, and we will catch you then. Goodbye.